Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Just one day remaining until we face Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. I cannot wait. I'm sure you cannot wait as well. And Arteta has just done his press conference. He's been talking about what he feels or how he feels before the game, his reaction to the Amazon documentary being released. Is it going to affect the players? He was actually asked that. And about the transfers as well. How will it affect the transfers the season starting? He was asked about all that. And also, some crucial team news in terms of Tomiyasu, Tierney, Smith, and Fabio Vieira. Some positive team news, so we will talk about that in this one. So let's get started. Let me know how excited you feel about the season getting started very, very soon. And let's see what Arteta had to say in his press conference. So we'll start with he was asked on how different this game is to last season's game against Brentford at the beginning of the season. And he said, well, it is different. Obviously, everything that happened before that game was pretty strange and unique. The preparation, the preseason that we had, it was a different context. We are really excited. We are really looking forward to the next new season. We will try to start in the best possible way. And this is how we have focused our preparation. So I definitely agree that last season there was a lot going on. Obviously, players got COVID before the season. There was a lot of games getting postponed, a lot of players missing the first game of the season. The preseason last time out was terrible. We lost almost every single game, and we were never prepared. Like we only had I think Tavares and Lokonga. We hadn't signed Ramsdale yet, and Odegaard. I think we're still working on the Odegaard deal. Tomiyasu is not an Arsenal player yet. We were definitely not ready. This time around, we've got a five players plus Saliba through the door, so we are looking more ready than last season. Obviously, it's not enough yet, but at least we're in a better position than last time out. Although it's actually a more difficult game, away to Crystal Palace is more difficult than it was at Brentford, but we feel more prepared. He was also asked about on how he feels about this team now, and he said it's always been my team because these are our players. So let me just do this so that you guys can see what I'm reading. It's always been my team because these are our players, and always we have the intention to get the best out of them. It's true that obviously we have trimmed the squad and changed the squad massively in the last two windows, especially, and you feel that now the players we have are more specific and better for the way we want to play. Basically, I definitely agree with that for sure. Um, Jesus, the understanding with Martinelli, with Saka, with Odegaard. That's why we can actually predict the team that is going to play tomorrow because we know who's ready, which players are going to be in the first team, and all that. So compared to last season, when we still had the likes of Kolasinac in the team, the likes of Callum Chambers in the team starting that first crucial game, it was difficult, man. I remember that game against Man City where we had to play a back five, and all those players played. Most of them are not even here. Len has also left, so it's interesting. He was also asked about the expectation on Gabriel Jesus, and he said when you bring top players, they are coming from top clubs and they have been extremely successful over the years. They are going to expect that. The role that Gabi has here is going to be very different to the role that Gabi had in his previous club. That needs some adaptation and some time. He's done it fantastically well, and we are all surprised how quickly he's done it. But we have to share that responsibility, and he's an enormous talent, a player with a mentality that is so contagious, and he's going to give us a lot. But it's a team contribution at the end of the day. For sure, we expect a lot from Jesus. Expect him to be our top scorer this season. And I did put a poll in the community tab. By the way, if you haven't checked out the poll in the community tab, I've put so many like top scorers, assists. What are your expectations before the start of the season? And Jesus was part of a lot of those polls. One of them was who's going to be our player of the season? Is it going to be a striker, a midfielder? Most of you say that a forward, and that is obviously Gabriel Jesus from the comments. But obviously, it's still a team game. If the team doesn't play today, we don't expect Jesus play tomorrow. You don't expect Jesus to just bang in a hat trick. No, he needs some help from the team. He needs some assists from the team. He needs the team to play well around him. So that's what he had to say about Jesus. And he was also asked about Crystal Palace. He said they showed last season how tough they are and how difficult they are to beat and how consistent they were at home as well, especially against the big teams. They got some great results. They had that result against us, and hopefully we learned a lot of lessons that day, especially the 30 minutes we had where we were nowhere near the standards that we needed, and we paid the price for it. Yeah, man. There were like, two goals ahead in the first 10 minutes of that game. It was really, really terrible. Crystal Palace is always a very good team. Last season they beat us. They drew with us. They beat City. They also drew with them. They beat United in the final day. They always do well. They beat Tottenham. So at their place, Selhurst Park, they beat Arsenal. They beat Tottenham and they beat Man United. So that is not a joke of a team. They went to City and beat them as well. Very, very good team. Patrick Vieira has built something really good there. So I definitely agree with that. I think I did a prediction, season predictions. I'll link it up in the YouTube card right now. And I did put Crystal Palace in mid-table again. I don't see them struggling at all. They're just going to comfortably survive the Premier League once again. Um, he was also asked about the excitement ahead of the new season and the new signings. He said, I think we are all enthusiastic. We had the preseason that we wanted. It was well organized and we had good results, good performances, good preparation. But now the ball starts to roll tomorrow, evening in a completely different context against a Premier League team. And we know what to expect there. But it's true. We are with a level of energy and ambition to have a successful season. And we have to show that on the pitch tomorrow night, for sure, 100%. It's a Premier League team. I still think we played Everton and Chelsea are Premier League teams as much as people want to say it was only friendly, but the real business is tomorrow. If you go to Crystal Palace and win the first game of the season, that just gives you a lot of confidence heading into the next games of the campaign. He was also asked on whether there will be any new players coming in. Most of you are waiting for this topic. He said, we are really active, as you can see, with incomings and outgoings. Everything is still open. It's a long window. A lot has happened. Um, it's incredible how much business the club has have done across the Premier League, and it shows how competitive it is. And this season, it's not going to stop that. Players are going to have the need to leave, some others to move, and everything is open still. So it says a lot of players are still going to leave, and I expect that to happen. I'm still expecting Bellerin to be on his way, Pablo Mari to be on his way, Torreira to finally join Galatasaray. Leno has left, Tavares has left. We know Niles might be leaving. We don't know the Pepe's future and everything. So there's a lot of players who could still go, and players who are coming in. We're still expecting at least two more players to join in the team. He was also asked about the Amazon documentary that was just released like 12 hours ago, like more than 12 hours ago, like last night. And he said, no, he was asked whether it's going to be a distraction, like the documentary being released like a day before the game. He said, no. Well, the distraction or the attraction was last year, having them here every single day. At the end, we tried to work together, try to make sure that whatever is produced is a reality of how this football club is run, the passion of its people, the aims and the responsibilities that we all have to make it work, how much we can love the club and how much enjoyment we are going to bring to our people. So he says it's not a distraction at all. The distraction was actually last season, having them in and around the training ground, taking videos, taking pictures, and everything. And yeah, in case you haven't watched it yet, I think they released 3 episodes, and then they'll release another 3 episodes, and then another the last episodes on like 2 weeks from now. So that's the latest on that Amazon documentary. He says it's not going to be a distraction at all. He was also asked about the injured players. We have very important players injured. That's Fabio, Vieira, Smith, Tomiyasu, and Tierney. And he said 3 out of 4 of those players are going to be training this afternoon. And if everything goes well, they will be available for selection and in the squad. That is very, very good news. Remember, yesterday I took a look at Crystal Palace versus Arsenal predicted lineup. The link will also be in the description. I took a look at our bench. Our starting lineup is very good, but our bench is still very short, and you're allowed 5 subs. But if 3 of these players are there, then all of a sudden it's way strong. Imagine having a bench of Edin Ketia, Smith Rowe, Tierney, Tomiyasu. Then you also have the likes of Cedric there. Maybe I don't know who's going to start. Maybe Lokonga there as well. I mean, you can still turn to players on the bench, or if you decide to start with Tomiyasu, you have the likes of Ben White on the bench. It's going to be stronger if you have those 4 players returning. But according to Arteta, 3 of them will be returning. On taking the knee, so they usually last season they were taking the knee before the games and in support of to kick out racism. I think that's what they were just called, kick out racism campaign. Hopefully, it will be equally productive, and you can still send a very important message that as a club we obviously want to express that equality that equality is a massive thing for us. Everybody is welcome in our football club and in our industry, hopefully, and we need to maintain being strong on that message. So I think they announced yesterday that the players will not be taking a knee before the game, but they'll be doing something throughout the game. On the expectation around the club, he said it's great that people are excited, but there's a big excitement across the Premier League because a lot of clubs have done a lot of business getting stronger and stronger. The competition is really big. We focus on that, on what we can do, what we want to do, and we want to be at the top of the table. Um, I mean, most of us expecting top four this season. According to the polls, I've been doing. Most of you have been expecting us to finish in the top three. So that is crazy. He was also asked on the increased pressure as a manager. Watching the pressure that I had last year after one game, I don't think it's going to be bigger than that. At the end of the day, people don't want to look at the context; they just look at the result and how we started. We are going to be judged on whether we win football matches or not. It's as simple as that. Interesting. He's also asked about our new captain, Martin Odegaard, and he said, this season we had the opportunity to do it in the way that I believe could work. Martin has been with us for 18 months, and in my opinion, is a player who represents the values of this football club in the perfect way. He's well respected by everybody around the team. He's admired by all the staff. He has the experience, even though he's 23. He has done it for the national team. He has passion about the game that he promotes every single day around the club and the way he plays. So I'm really happy to have someone like him, and he's on board. He's enjoying that responsibility, and he will need support, but for sure it's a huge thing for him as well. I believe he's going to have a really big season. Cannot wait to see how he does. He was also asked on if there's still a leadership group. So I remember last year we had a leadership group of, I think, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Holding, Xhaka, and he says that there's still a leadership group. So I'm guessing Xhaka is part of that. Odegaard is part of that. Maybe Rob Holding is still part of that. Very interesting. He was also asked on whether the heart surgery he had as a kid put everything into perspective. He said sometimes he forgot that the cameras were there. That's what happened, and you open up. In the end, what is pressure compared with what people have that? People that have jobs where the pressure is much higher because they make decisions that mean people can keep living their life or go to another place. What we do is try to win football matches, try to bring enjoyment and fun to our people, and play a game that is beautiful, but at the same time is so unpredictable. Sometimes you need to do things with a bit of perspective as well. He was also asked about on it's the most excited if it's the most excited it's been since joining Arsenal. And he said you try every day to be more excited and love your players more and feel more privileged of where you are. The more things you do that are related to the way you feel and you share that feeling with the club like we do, then it becomes a common thing. At the end, it's not about me. It's about how we all feel about what we are doing. We all feel integral part of it, especially our supporters. When we do that, I always say it becomes very powerful. He's also asked about Guardiola, if he asked Guardiola to sign Jesus and Zinchenko, and he said, I cannot say how it was, but I can tell you that this works both ways and both parties have to be happy to do that. Also asked about Ban and Bellerin. He said for Band at the end, it was just a professional relationship. And on Bellerin, still on Band, he said, it's a man who will be remembered here, and it's been a privilege to work with him. But in football, you have to make decisions and try to get the best out of your players. He was also asked on setting a red card target. Yeah, we had got a lot of red cards last season. He said, I told you last time that it's better not to talk about it, and the less we talk about it, the better it becomes. So hopefully we can achieve that. And then finally on Tierney and Tomiyasu's injuries, he said, hopefully it's not long-term injuries. The reason they got those persistent injuries are for different reasons, probably because the squad didn't enable them to recover, and we don't play them when it's necessary, and it was too tired when they weren't fully recovered. So sometimes we had to rush them. It was a combination of things with those two players. They are so pushy and willing to contribute to the team. We know that these two fit and performing at their best. We are much stronger as a team. So that is what Mikel Arteta had to say about in this conference ahead of the Crystal Palace game. Asked about the transfers, he said that they're still looking to bring in players. Players are still going to leave. Asked about how confident he is for the game tomorrow. He said Crystal Palace are a very tough team. Obviously, as we all know, they beat a lot of big teams last season, but we are more ready than last season. Obviously, last season we had a lot of trouble before the Brentford game, but he believes that this season we are more ready to approach this game and hopefully we can get that win. I did a predicted lineup for Crystal Palace Arsenal. The link will be in the description. Let me know what you think about that. Cannot wait for tomorrow's game. It's going to be a very interesting one. Thank you for watching. Catch up with you guys on the next one.